Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Trev and Lev Show here on YouTube.com, where we talk SEC, Tennessee, everything CFB. I'm Trev. That's Lev. This is Coaching Carousel, SEC football, conference conference championship talk, and so much more. Big day, huge day in the coaching carousel. Literally, all the dominoes fell at the same time. Uh, Very interesting day in the SEC. We got Lane Kiffin to LSU. We got John Sumerall to Florida. I think that's expected. I don't know if that's happened yet. Alex Golesh to Auburn, and Brian Silverfield to Arkansas,
I think John Sumerall's
and
confirmed.
John Sumerall is confirmed. So
Yeah.
yeah, we got all four of those in the same day. Nearly a third, I guess a quarter of the SEC got brand new head coaches today.
Also, Ole
Penn
Miss.
State is still open. Oh, plus Ole Miss. Forgot about that. Ole Miss hires Pete Golding, their DC, as HC, the official head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels. Where do you want to start?
And I guess Kiffin.
Let's start with Kiffin.
Makes the
What
most
a
sense.
this guy! Wow, this guy's a jerk, right? I mean,
Biggest jerk in football. I think he's a good football coach, but
I still like him though.
self-absorbed a-hole.
You want to yell at him like you yelled at Pavia, or
No, I don't care
okay?
enough. I'm not
He's
an
just
Ole Miss fan, so
he's just a whiny baby. He's just a whiny baby, man. Did you see his plane taking off? All the Ole Miss fans were flipping him off. Did you see that?
no, that's funny.
This,
Ole,
yeah,
Ole Miss fans are never gonna reach the level of Tennessee after he left, though. There was like little
yeah, definitely not.
riots.
Yeah, riots. Yeah. Well, okay, so I guess let's backtrack here. So LSU gets their guy. We assumed this was going to happen. At least I did. I thought he was going to go. He supposedly, allegedly wants to stay, finish coaching out the season at Ole Miss. The AD says no. Um, and he then throws a huge fit and threatens to take all the staff and poach players. He allegedly says that all the offensive staff must get on a plane to Baton Rouge today if they want to have a job. And yeah, that's all I've heard. Is there anything else you've heard? That's all I've
Um,
heard about that.
I mean, I've heard rumors of stuff that you can't really trust about, like, oh, this Pete Golding was like telling Kiffin, like, I've heard stuff like that. It's like I don't
Okay, the
know.
stuff I said is like reported by reputable sources.
Yeah,
Uh, that sounds funny if that's true about what you said. Um, I kind of want to ask you though, like, do you think that the AD should have let him coach out the rest of the season? My personal opinion is yes, but
it's so hard because it's like he's literally. So I don't know if you know, but he was going to be recruiting for LSU while coaching Ole Miss during this time. So
okay,
he's not going to be fully locked in to Ole Miss during this time. So it's not like the 80 he's going to be coaching here and his only focus is going to be Ole Miss the next few weeks. It's going to be he's just coaching the games and he's going to be recruiting and stuff, and probably a lot of his attention is going to be pulled towards LSU. Um, so I think in some ways I understand the 80's decision, but in other ways it's like also you're not going to get far in the playoffs if Lane Kiffin's not coaching. So it's just
yeah.
like it's a double-edged sword where it's like either way you're screwed. Um, because he's going to be actively recruiting against you while he's on staff. So
At a rival, I think that was their big take was like, oh, it's a rival, whatever. I didn't even know they were rivals, honestly.
I mean they played
Um,
every year for the last whatever how many years, I guess.
yeah, I can see both sides, like you're saying. I just kind of lean towards you probably should have let him do it, but this could just be a cop out from Kiffin instead of trying to look like the bad guy, which he ended up looking like the bad guy anyways. He could have just been like, "Oh, I offered to stay," like, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I
I will
I
I
don't know. I respect the AD standing up for himself and being like, no, like get the heck out of here, man. Like we don't want you.
You know what,
Get out
somebody
of here.
I saw somebody on Twitter who actually came up with a really really good take. I think Ole Miss should hire Bobby Petrino to run their offense for the playoffs. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? I think that's a good idea. Not because I think Bobby Petrino is a great guy or anything, but I think he's a good offensive coach. And I mean, you need a
That would be
real quick fix.
hil- hilarious. What if they win the national title? They're not going to,
I
but you know,
honestly, I don't think they're going to, but like I honestly might be rooting for them because I think
do they get like the interim coach edge here? Like the you know what I'm saying, the interim coach boost. I know it's the
I'm
head
just
coach
curious
now.
to see how many of their players transfer too.
So they can hit the portal in the next 30 days, so they can like
Yeah, I think that's my biggest takeaway from this whole situation is it shows that there's a lot of problems with the college football portal
the
window and
timeline is
postseason, and
oh
it's just so bad because it's like you can't fault these players, you can't fault these coaches because they have to make a move because if they don't make a move now, they're locked into Ole Miss or they're locked into
yeah.
where they're at and they can't make a move later. But it's so hard.
He received he received an ultimatum and he made his decision based on the ultimatum,
Mhm.
but he went about it in a horrible way, obviously.
Yeah,
But yeah, I see what you're saying though. Yeah, it's a bad situation.
I think that if we're gonna have a college football playoff, we need to make it to where I don't know. It's just so hard because college they're still worried about like, oh, you've got to be at the new school because the school starts up next semester, so you got to be there next semester. But it's like, let's get real. Most most of these players that are going to be transferring around don't give a crap about college, and so we need to
Yeah,
quit acting
how are
like it
these guys even
matters.
graduating? Yeah, I mean they're at
Because
4 schools in 4 years. How do you graduate
well,
with that?
because the
You know?
whole thing is that's why it's all set up like this is because they're worried about oh they've got to get to school and be in classes and stuff.
Yeah,
Let's be honest, this is light. This is pro football light. So let's stop treating it like these are college players who are going to college and they're just playing football for fun. They're getting millions of dollars to play football. So and it's not like these schools can't make exceptions for players. Like let's just be honest, like
yeah,
they
yeah.
can put these players in some rinky dink program or something or make
We're
exceptions, put them
getting
in late ad classes. Let's
yeah,
it's not like we can't work around this. These schools need to just realize that these college athletes, like if we're gonna make it a requirement that they have to be enrolled in classes to be on a football team, you need to just make exceptions and be like, okay, they can come in this time because I think we need to make it to where the portal window is after the college football playoff and after bowl season, so we don't have to just completely up in teams that are in the like Ole Miss. This
yeah,
wouldn't be a problem. Like Lane Kiffin would be waiting until after the season to make his decision, and LSU would be fine with it if they didn't have to start recruiting now. If there's like a whole like if say the portal window opened up in February, um, and all of this happened in February, the college football playoffs over in January, right? That gives like a month to make moves
yeah,
in the portal, and so LSU would be more likely to wait to make a decision for Kiffin, um, until after the season, and Kiffin wouldn't even have to make a decision. He'd just be like, "Oh, I'm going to sign an extension with Ole Miss," and then LSU just pays whatever to get him out of that. But it's just so bad how it's all set up, and I just think there just needs to be a whole reworking because this is not college football anymore. It's college football, like that's what it's called, but this is literally just pro football light at this point. We're paying players millions of dollars. These are not they're not just going to school they're not playing football to get free scholarships anymore. That's
yeah.
not what it's about. And I think we need to just stop acting like it is.
Yeah, it's rough on Kiffin for how he handled the situation, but you can't blame him for leaving at the time because he had to. Like you said, I mean, just the way it all works now, it's he had to leave now. Um and we expected him to. It's too good of an opportunity to pass up for him. I think this is the best hire of the offseason. I know that not every job has been filled yet, but this is going to be the best hire of the entire offseason. So good for LSU. They got their coach. They will visit Neyland Stadium next season. Should be a very, very interesting game. Very excited for that one. My dad, shout out to my dad. He's very, very excited about that game. Really is really interested in going to that one. I think it'll be a really fun game to go to.
I went to the last game that Tennessee played against Kiffin in 2021.
Yep.
Really great game actually. Tennessee had a chance to win it, but it came up short, and there was the whole crazy game with all of the fans throwing stuff on the field. Probably one of the best losses I've ever been to, like most fun loss, like I
Yeah.
had that game was a lot of fun, but it was still a loss, so it kind of sucked. But yeah, that'll be crazy. Also, LSU goes to Ole Miss next year too, so he's going to be playing against his two former teams in the SEC
Oh
next
man,
year
that's crazy.
at their
At their
fields.
dang, dude.
So be on the lookout for a crazy environment for those games. We might get some mustard bottles and golf balls in two stadiums this year.
Dude, ESPN absolutely loves this, by the way.
It would be really funny if he lost to
ESPN
both
loves
too. That would be. I don't
ESPN
think that's
loves.
gonna happen, but it would
Nah,
be
it won't.
hilarious if he lost to both Tennessee and Ole Miss next year.
It's an entertainment business. Lane Kiffin is entertaining. Um, yeah. Any more thoughts on Lane Kiffin to LSU?
Nope.
Alex Golesh to Auburn. Uh, my opinion, probably the second best hire of the day. Um, I was actually surprised. Obviously, there was false reporting or some sort of reporting that Arkansas was interested.
I think
I think that
Arkansas
was
was in
probably
talks.
true.
Yeah, I
They
think.
probably got outbid or by Auburn, or Auburn showed interest or something.
Yeah. So from what I've saw, Arkansas allegedly offered Golesh about $7 million, and Auburn came in with a $7.4 million deal, and Arkansas didn't counteroffer. I also heard some stuff. Don't know the truth of it, but that Golesh apparently was frustrated that the deal got leaked before it was made official, and so I think that kind of made him a little upset too.
Let's be real,
Also,
Arkansas.
Auburn's a
Yeah, it's
better
like a way
job
better job
anyway, so
by
I think
far.
Arkansas offered him first, and probably in the middle of Arkansas, like they're coming to a deal. Auburn reaches out to Golesh, and Golesh is like,
Yeah.
"Wait a second, I think I'd rather go to Auburn, and Auburn's gonna
What
pay
I've
me more, so I'm
yeah,
going to Auburn."
from what I've heard, this wasn't even their like a top three candidate for them though, is what I've allegedly heard. I don't know who their top three was, but I have heard they didn't get an opportunity, and that's what we're gonna see throughout this cycle. Is you're gonna have to settle for your fourth option a lot, because your first three are guys that are at established programs and aren't gonna want to leave for a school like Arkansas or Auburn, who I wouldn't want to put Auburn and Arkansas in the same boat here. Let's be real. Arkansas is probably a bottom three school to work at in the SEC. But
I think Mississippi State might,
Mississippi
and
State, Arkansas,
Vanderbilt before this year was probably pretty close to the bottom.
yeah, I'm trying to Kentucky.
Kentucky's
Yeah,
pretty low on that totem pole. Funny enough, they've had the longest active coach in the SEC.
yeah, it's a bottom four job for sure.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I great hire for Auburn. I think they'll be able to get good talent there. He runs a very similar offense to Tennessee. They also visit Tennessee this season. It should be a lot of fun. I'll be watching Auburn a lot more closely. Big fan of Golesh and his what he's done for Tennessee and at South Florida. Bringing a, I mean, when he went there, like they had won like one or two games the season before, and they just won 10 games or 9 or 10 games this season.
yeah, and
So
Auburn has great talent and can get great talent.
yeah,
They have big time boosters.
mm,
So I have good faith in him being able to have pretty good seasons there. Um, we'll
yeah, I'm
see.
excited for him.
Hope
I'm
he
excited
doesn't
for him.
beat Tennessee and Knoxville next year. But outside of that, honestly, I don't have much against Auburn. They've never really been a rival of ours. As long as they don't beat us, I honestly will probably be rooting for them in most of their games next year.
Especially against Bama, stuff like that. I want to save Sumerall for the end, so let's go with Arkansas here. Brian Silverfield. Uh, this is a Arkansas caliber hire. It's a decent hire. He's been at Memphis since 2020, I believe. The past three seasons record for them 9-3, 9-3, and 8-4. That's pretty good for a G5 school. He showed consistency there. Um, Not a lot to say. They beat Arkansas this year. Funny enough. But yeah, don't know too much about the guy, but you take a team, you take a G5 school and make them, you know, a contender in their conference every season for 3 straight years. I mean, that's pretty impressive considering how often you get poached from the big schools, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I don't know who Arkansas wanted. Obviously, they wanted Golesh, and that would have been a home run hire for them. But they had to settle here with Silverfield.
Yeah, it's not like a home run hire, but it's not the worst hire ever. Um, could have a success at Arkansas, or he could be bad. I mean, it's just so hard to know because the SEC is so hard. It's a gauntlet. I think there's a lot of good coaches that can have good careers at other schools, but they come to the SEC and they're going to be bad or mid or not. And the thing is every SEC school wants to compete for national championships. Every SEC team wants to go to the playoffs. So it's
Except teams like Arkansas, though. Think about this: they're putting how much money they're putting in basketball and baseball. They're not putting in it hardly any money into football,
yeah.
right? So
I
I
get
mean,
I
you
guess
got to know that's the situation.
if they consistently win 8 games, I think
That's
Arkansas fans will
successful.
probably be happy.
That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, like Arkansas fans would be completely happy with what's going on at Tennessee probably right now, but Tennessee fans aren't happy.
Nope.
That just shows you the difference between the
The level of the
programs,
program.
though.
John Sumerall to Florida. John Sumerall has been a consistent hot name in the at the G5 level for a while now. He was at Troy 3 seasons ago, I believe. They were consistently winning 8, 9, 10 games a year. He's at Tulane. I think they have back-to-back 10-win seasons. They're actually currently competing for a playoff spot, ranked 24th or 23rd in the latest CFP poll. So this kind of surprises me. I want to get your take on this too. They just had a G5 coach. I thought they were going to go big home run higher name,
That's what they
similar to a
wanted.
Kiffin.
But
They wanted Kiffin.
there's no the problem is there's no good options right now. That's why that's why I'm really reluctant. Like I know there's a lot of issues to be had with Heupel, but this is not the year you want to move on from a coach, in my opinion. So
No.
I think even if the writing's on the wall and Heupel's probably getting fired next year, it's all about timing, and I think next year might be a better time to fire your coach anyway. So I think giving Heupel another year is better. But Florida realized quickly that there's a lot of other schools that are better off than they are looking for coaches, so they don't really have a good option. I don't know. I think they could have gotten maybe a better hire than John Sumerall. I don't think John Sumerall is necessarily a horrible hire, but I don't think he's what Florida's gonna want. Like he's going to be I
Yeah,
think
I
he's
mean,
going to be probably he could be similar to Dan Mullen or slightly worse than Dan Mullen, but still, he's not going to be what Florida fans want, and he's probably going to
that
get
was my
fired in
issue.
4 to 5 years.
That was my issue. Like, you just hired Billy Napier, who was at Louisiana Lafayette. Like, you just hired a guy that was good at the G5 level. G5 level. I think we've talked about it in the past where I thought like, hey, they're not gonna do that again. You know, they're gonna go for an established name at a Power Five school here. Um,
I think
yeah, I don't know.
Jed Fish made a lot of sense, but they didn't go after him
Yeah, it did.
because he's a
Did they not
Florida.
go after him or did he?
I don't know. He's a Florida alum, so
Hmm.
it made more sense, but they
It
didn't
made
even
more sense.
attempt.
Weird.
Um, but I don't know.
Very weird. I
One
don't
thing
know.
that's interesting too is he apparently was at Kentucky at one point. John Summerall. He was
Oh, really?
yeah. I saw Kentucky people talking about it. It's a shame that this guy isn't the head coach at Kentucky right now, and that he's at their rival.
Yeesh.
Uh,
Way be-
basically, he was
way
on
better
their
job.
he was on
Florida's a way.
he was on their staff in 2023, and if I think that was the year Mark Stoops talked about going to A&M.
Iowa. No, Iowa. Right?
Maybe I thought it was
I don't know.
A&M though.
It was A&M. No, you're
Uh,
right.
and John Summerall, it's very likely he would have become their head coach if that would have happened. Um, so if
He
John
wouldn't be there
Summerall
right now.
if John Summerall ends up being a good coach, Kentucky fans gotta be really hating it.
I mean, I think he's got a really good chance. I think he's the best Group of Five coach right now. Um, so he's got a good chance to be something for them. But
We'll see.
let's hope not. Let's hope not.
I think one last coaching thing we want to talk about is an open position that really there's been like no movement whatsoever in from what we can tell. And it's the Penn State job. They're really taking their time on this one. Um, I've been seeing right now, I think the top. So according to just what people think, because I don't think the lots come out on Penn State's end, but just kind of what people are thinking. I last time I checked, the percentages, the top two, the number one, like kind of who they were thinking Penn State might be going after is the guy at BYU. Um, I don't.
Okay.
So that's right now the betters and just the
Interesting.
people making odds have him as the number one. Uh,
Okay.
number one, and then for whatever reason, I don't think Heupel's going to go to Penn State, but there's been some movement recently
Uh-huh.
for Heupel there. I think it's just speculation. I don't think there's actually really any weight behind that. So that's why I kind of take that first one with a grain of salt too, because I just don't know. I don't know how accurate it is because I just feel like Penn State's kind of trying to keep everything under wraps. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Who do
I
you
I
think's going
kind
to go
of
to Penn State?
I kind of figured it would be someone that was already in the Big Ten. Um, someone that was familiar with the conference or has been on, on a stat and a Big Ten staff.
Marcus
Obviously,
Freeman's another one. People, I think I've seen a couple people talking about how there's maybe some interest between both parties for that one.
I just really don't see Marcus Freeman leaving Notre Dame. Um, but he is like, talk about like young, like he will be like the coach of Alabama or Georgia or something one day. Talk about like young, really good prospects. He's I think he's in his 30s still. I mean, if Notre Dame can't lock him down long term, he'll leave for a big job opening one day. But I don't see him leaving right now, especially not for Penn State. I think that's one of those schools. I think we saw a similar situation with Florida that we're seeing with Penn State. Of I think that they overvalued their school, their program, and that's showing up here in their job vacancy where uh, it's been a month or two, and they still haven't.
Their
It's been very
their
quiet.
former coach already has a job before they hire a new guy.
Yep. It's been very quiet, like you said. It's been very very quiet. So it'll be really interested to see where that one goes. Um, I don't I don't know. That schedule is favorable next year. I think we talked about that too on the show. But Signetti was obviously their number one at the very beginning, and yeah, he's not leaving Indiana. So
Nope.
yeah, that'll be interesting. What I guess real quick, Ole Miss, Pete Golding, the defensive coordinator at Ole Miss, announced shortly after, maybe 2 hours after or so, Lane Kiffin announces he's leaving. They announced Pete Golding as the head coach at Ole Miss.
I mean,
Good hire.
I think it's a decent hire. I mean, Ole Miss's defense has not really been like it's
No,
not
but
been
he's
like great, but I mean, he's like probably
yeah.
going to be the only semi qualified staff member left there. So I mean, it's kind of like you have to basically promote him.
So
But
you
I
have to make
that's
it.
where I
You
don't
have to
get
like
the whole permanent thing though.
right.
Like
So you have to
like
make
he is
You have to
actually
make someone
their.
the interim.
I
Hmm.
guess it makes sense to a degree because similar to how the reason why Kiffin is not staying is because of recruiting. They kind of want to lock down somebody so they can start recruiting. That's why I'm so confused that Penn State doesn't already have somebody hired because of the whole recruiting thing. So that's why it makes sense that they went ahead and were like permanent because they got to start recruiting even with the playoffs happening. Um,
Hmm.
so that's really the main reason I think why. But I think down the road, I think it's a decent hire, but I really don't think long term wise. I don't think it's gonna be a great hire. I think they're gonna go down after this. If we're
Yeah, they
being
will. But
honest,
I mean, that's what Ole Miss is, though. They're not a blue blood. Traditionally they're not a top five program in the SEC. They have been the past 3 or 4 years, but traditionally they're not. So I think you keep it in the program. You hope it works out for you, and you can't do any better. I think they're closer to an Alex Golesh, Brian Silverfield job than they are closer to a Lane Kiffin LSU job. Does that make sense? Like this is a closer to a bottom half of the league
Yeah.
type
They're
opening here.
probably they're probably like just under halfway the halfway mark of
And it
teams.
was announced. It's announced so quick that it makes you think like, hey, they were pretty confident that Lane Kiffin was not going to stay here.
Yeah, and
I
they
think that
they,
makes it
they did their
pretty
due
obvious because
diligence and knew what
you
they were
had
gonna
somebody
do.
lined up here. Yeah,
Yeah.
you had someone lined up. So you had it in the back of your mind, hey, this is not going to work out.
I
So,
think, and I'll give credit to Ole Miss AD. I think he's handled this the best way possible. I think he's been given a
yeah.
really crappy situation,
Yeah.
and
He stood his ground and he made a hire. And just like that, you don't see that often.
and and that's why it'd be so funny if Ole Miss actually makes it decently
Yeah.
far into the playoffs because it's like it's just they're in such a crappy situation. I don't know. I honestly, Ole Miss is kind of who I'm rooting for right now in the playoffs because I hate most of the teams in the playoffs. I don't necessarily, I'm not an Ole Miss fan by any means, but they're not a rival of mine. And it'd be just such a funny story for them to make it far in the
Yeah.
playoffs, even without their head coach. Just would be
Yeah.
really just be a good story.
It would be a great
And
story. It'd be
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of fun to watch.
I hope they can do something, but I don't know. I don't feel super confident. They're probably a first round exit.
Yeah, most likely. We might get into some of that later here on the show. Get into the SEC games now. Yeah, getting into the SEC games here. Really interesting week, rivalry week. Anything can happen here. A&M coming into this game knowing we had talked about it on the show. We knew they had a soft schedule coming into this one, and Texas got them at home
Yep.
at
I mean,
27-17.
it's just so hard to it's so hard
It's
even
hard to
if
go
you're
undefeated.
it's hard to go undefeated, especially with an SEC schedule. And also it's hard to do that when you have an easier schedule compared to the rest of the SEC. If we're being completely honest, A&M had the easiest schedule in the SEC this year, like without a doubt.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
um, uh,
Credit to them for taking care, like for taking advantage of that though. And
yeah,
as far as talent from the portal wise, they got a lot of really talented players, and they're really primed for a deep playoff run.
yeah. But let's be honest though. When it's all said and done, I think they're the third best SEC team. I think Alabama and Georgia are the ones who are in
Yeah,
the playoff or in the SEC championship are the better
yeah,
teams. Alabama's not been playing as good recently. Uh, but let's just be honest, A&M's not battle tested. I think Marcel Reed has some issues here and there. Um,
yeah,
they're overall a really good team, but I don't know. I
yeah. They
don't
really
see them
fell
making
apart in
it
the
far in
second
the
half here.
playoffs personally.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was disappointed in their second half performance there. Marcel Reed kind of cost them. I think both of his interceptions came in the second half, both really bad interceptions while they were driving to make
Hmm.
this game a little bit closer. You look at the stats here, it was a close game from every statistical standpoint. Yeah, the two interceptions really just cost you there. And yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes for them. They're not going to get a first round bye anymore. So yeah, I don't know. They're gonna have to play. They'll get a home playoff game, which will be huge for them. Um, but yeah, they might be a second round exit here. We'll see. We'll see for them. But yeah, I mean, good on Texas, right? I mean, you technically give yourself a shot. I don't think they should make the playoff, but you give yourself a fighting chance. Um, what, a couple weeks after getting your doors blown off by Georgia,
One thing that's
coming home and
funny,
beat your biggest rival, one of your biggest rivals, not your biggest rival, but
one thing that's pretty funny though is if it comes down to Vanderbilt or Texas, I legitimately think they might take Texas over Vanderbilt.
they will. Yeah,
That's I don't think
the
either
head to head,
team's getting in. Let's be
the
honest,
head to
but
head result alone probably just gets you in.
I don't think
So,
either team's getting in. But um,
and you have one of the best wins in the country. So, if you're
yeah.
Texas,
Texas is the only three-loss team that isn't going to play in a conference championship that has a case to get in.
yeah,
Um,
they're gonna need some chaos for that to happen, but it could, it could.
Alabama can get in the playoff is going to get in the playoffs if they have three losses, but that's just because their third loss will be in the SEC championship, and the playoff committee is not going to count that against them.
Yeah, they might just be like the 10th seed, but yeah, they probably would.
I I
But yeah,
I will say one last thing. Arch Manning, has really
Mm.
progressed as the season's gone on. Had a really bad start to the season, just played really mid. But I think he's not an elite quarterback by any means, but he's been able to grind out in some of these games and be able to just finish. And I think that just shows determination from him. And I think it's very respectable. And just, I think next year he could have a solid season. I think he keeps developing. And Texas just gets some good key players around him. Texas could have a pretty good season next year um, if he just keeps improving.
Yeah, I agree. You couldn't really start the season much worse than he did, but he's really come on here in the latter half of the year. So, yeah, good for him. So we got Alabama and Auburn here, 27-20. Crazy game. Really, really fun game to watch. It was not good football. It was not good football by any means, but
Golly,
it
Auburn
was,
can't hold on to the football.
no, can't hold on to football yet. Few
Turnover.
turnovers really cost them. That was, they had a couple drives where it was, there were so many, first of all, there were so many dropped interceptions from both teams in this game. Ty Simpson threw a couple of really bad passes, and Ty Simpson hasn't looked like himself in the past few weeks here. Threw for 122 yards. They just have not looked good offensively the past several weeks. But man, yeah, that dropped interceptions on both sides, mistakes, penalties, turnovers from Auburn. I think that they had that one possession we were watching it. They had that one possession where they dropped the ball like what 4 times or something crazy like that, and then threw that interception where I think it got tipped
Tip,
off a wide
yeah.
receiver's hands. That was that was a terrible possession. That was an insane possession. They literally fumbled it like twice. Someone dropped an interception, and then they threw an interception. That was a horrible drive. Oh man, I don't know. Just leave it to rivalry weekend, and you get some crazy games and some crazy results. It was a fun game to watch, though.
Yeah.
They had a chance to tie it at the end.
Yep.
Cam Coleman fumbles that ball. That didn't
Probably one of the more entertaining games of the week.
of the season, right? Even
I
of
mean,
the season.
yeah, it's
It was
very
entertaining. It wasn't good. It was entertaining though.
yeah. And
I didn't realize how much Auburn outgained Alabama though. That's crazy. 411 to 280 yards is crazy.
259 passing yards. Ty
Yeah.
Simpson did not have a good game.
No.
I
He hasn't looked good in like 3 weeks.
Alabama had the middle of the season were really solid, really just getting better. They beat Georgia, um, but ever since that Oklahoma game, they've just kind of just looked really just meh. But they're still in the
Yeah,
SEC championship.
they played their best ball, like you said, in the middle of the season there. I think they had that 4 game stretch where they played uh Tennessee, Missouri,
Georgia.
what other two
Well, they
teams did they
beat
play?
Georgia, Missouri,
Georgia.
Tennessee, Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Vanderbilt. Yep, that was it. So yeah, they that was their best stretch of the season. They're not playing good ball right now.
No,
Um,
it's
I would have loved to see Auburn win this one though.
the interesting thing right now is a lot of the SEC teams are actually playing their worst football right now, except
Yeah.
for Georgia.
Yep.
I honestly, I'm gonna say it. I think right now the team that's the most likely to win the national championship in the SEC is Georgia.
Yeah, I would agree. I just checked the line. Georgia's favored by 1.5 points against Alabama in the SEC title game. I would take that right now. Uh, Based on how they're both playing at the moment, I would take Georgia over Bama
Yeah,
by
Geor-
at
Georgia's
least three
just
points.
they've just vastly improved as the season's gone, and they just find ways to win games. I just I don't know. Kirby Smart is the best coach in college football. I don't think there's you can really argue with that, and I don't know. I honestly will not be surprised if the Bulldogs win the national championship this year.
Yeah, I guess we could take a look at the rest of the games real quick before we move on.
Over
Speaking of
that's
Georgia,
yeah.
s- speaking of Georgia, they kind of slugged it out here with Georgia Tech. Wasn't their best performance, 16-9. That's always a close game though. Uh, Ole Miss really took care of business against Mississippi State, 38-19 on Black Friday. That was a good game for Ole Miss. Wasn't really that close at all. Felt like Oklahoma somehow pulls it out against LSU. This team is a lock for the playoff, in my opinion. But should they be going to the playoff? What
I don't know.
will they lose by 20 points? Probably. Um, well, okay. Will they lose by 7? Probably. Will it feel like they lost by 21 points? Definitely. Just because of how good that defense is and how abysmal that offense is. They were losing most of that game. I think they got a what did they get a turnover that and they scored off of it? No, they had a big play. They had like a 60-yard touchdown pass that won them that game. But I think that was another game where they outgained LSU by like double, but they still only won by 4 points. Uh didn't even look at Louisville and Kentucky.
Yeah, there's
Yeesh.
so honestly, there's some crazy games this week. Just looking at these scores, first of all, you
Yeah.
got Louisville spanking the ever loving
Yeah.
crap out of Kentucky. I mean, I would have bet on Louisville to win the game, but I mean, would not
Top by
expect
1. Yeah.
that. Clemson beating South Carolina. I mean, makes sense. South Carolina's not been really good this year. Missouri beats Arkansas. Makes sense. Arkansas has not won a single SEC game this year. So, I mean, what do you
Yeah.
expect? And then
Wouldn't have expected this one though.
the
Florida.
Florida State after the abysmal game. I mean, I get it. Florida State's a horrible team. Uh, but man, I was not expecting Florida, especially just after just the bad game against Tennessee.
The inconsistency of this year's Florida team has been off the
Yeah,
charts.
they're 4-8, but they've got wins against Florida State and Texas. Like
Yeah.
what? And they've lost to USF.
Yeah.
It's just it's crazy.
Yeah,
But
it's been a crazy season. It's kind of sad to see the regular season come to a close, but rivalry week is always really fun and unfortunately we weren't able to watch that many games this week, but still had a good time.
yeah,
Still had a good time watching the Alabama Auburn game and yeah, kind of well, we
it's
were okay.
it's been
We were,
as a college football fan, this has been a good season. Uh, like it's been a very entertaining season. As a Tennessee fan, it's been a really frustrating season. Um, but just college football wise, this has just been a very entertaining season. Um, and I'm really looking forward
yeah,
to the playoffs. I think
yeah.
I think aside from last year because Tennessee was in it, this is the most excited I've ever been for the postseason. For football, just as a pure college football fan, not as a Tennessee fan, because I'm not really excited for whatever rinky-dink bowl game Tennessee's playing in, to be honest with you. But I am really excited for the playoffs this year. I'm really looking forward to seeing who wins, because I honestly, I think I have no idea who's gonna win it, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll have some coverage on the college football playoff, especially when the final rankings drop. I think they should be dropping next Sunday. Just based on the conference championships will be Friday and Saturday. So the final rankings and playoff bracket will be on Sunday. Make sure to cover that next week. Drop our predictions and stuff like that. So yeah, be on the lookout for those videos. Please like and subscribe to the channel on the road to 100 subscribers. Had a lot of fun in the back half of the regular season with you guys, just talking about these games. And yeah, looking forward to covering the playoffs and stuff like that. But try to get some more off-season content going on. Had a really fun time with the coaching carousel as well. But yeah, sad to see the regular season close. It feels like it just started a couple days ago, but here we are at the end here. Anything else to add for you?
Hopefully the Vols are better next year. That's about all I gotta say.
And
Hope
with that, I'm Trev, and that's Lev. This was the Trev and Lev Show. Breaking news: Mark Stoops just fired as of the recording of this video, literally like 2 minutes ago. Um, what? What?
what a wild
What?
day in the SEC. Literally
What?
earlier in this video, I talked about how he was
Oh
the
my
longest
gosh.
running coach in the SEC, and I'm already now he's gone. So
What are they expecting here? They go 5-7 this season. What's the expectation? Make a bowl game or win? Like, what is the expectation?
I don't know, but I don't know who they're getting. They should have just waited one more
Uh,
year, probably.
yeah, this is actually like terrible timing from an AD's perspective.
I don't know that Louisville. I think it just you don't
It
lose
was
to
that
Louisville
Louisville
that
loss,
bad.
right?
Yeah, I think we talked about it
That's like
towards the end.
it's one of your biggest rivals. Yeah,
41
I
nothing.
don't know,
That's
man.
just bad. It's bad. Not a good look.
They're not gonna be able to get like Brian Silverfield would have been, or sorry, Ryan Silverfield would have been a home run hitter for them. So I have no clue who they're gonna be able to get here. Because who are
I
they gonna
don't
be able
know.
to pay? Who are they gonna be able to pay? Also, I wonder what the buyout on that was.
They could go
Let me
after
look
like
that up
Dan
quick.
Mullen.
Why the heck would he go there? I mean, no offense.
I'm not saying he would. I'm just saying that's somebody they could go after, maybe. But
The buyouts. I'm just checking the buyout here just to see the buyout info. What? Guess how much?
20 million.
$37 million.
Oh, oh, that's crazy. That's
What?
crazy.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, wait, what? Okay, apparently, if they waited 60 days, they wouldn't have had to pay that much. So, you have someone lined up, right?
Maybe.
What?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
This is wild.
This is insanity. Yeah. Don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, but maybe they have a plan. Guess we'll see here in the coming weeks. But just crazy. We were literally
Yeah.
we were editing and making thumbnails, uh, and this just popped up on our feed literally 2 minutes ago. So literally breaking news right now for us. You'll probably see this video on Tuesday. We're recording on Sunday night, so it won't be breaking news for y'all, but for us,
Maybe they'll have somebody. They might have somebody by then.
yeah, they might. So who knows? You might have Kentucky might have a
Yeesh.
coach by the time this video comes out, but crazy.
60 days and you wouldn't have had to pay him as much. That's insane.
College football, man. I don't know. I don't get it. Doesn't make sense.
What a time for the SEC. Gonna be a very interesting season next year.
Yeah. So many
Oh
new
man. What
coaches.
Yeah, we'll have to think about that going in the offseason here. How many new head coaches is Cincy gonna play next year?
I mean,
Oh,
at
four?
least three,
Four.
maybe four.
They would play Arkansas next year, right?
Arkansas, Auburn,
Arkansas, Auburn, LSU,
LSU,
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Yeah,
Wow.
you're right. Four. And you never know. Georgia Tech's coach might get taken by somebody. I don't know.
He's a Georgia Tech alum. I think he not sign an extension? I don't know.
He might have. I don't know. He just feels like somebody who somebody might go
Oh
after.
yeah, yeah, I agree, but I think the jobs he was up for are already taken because he's not gonna leave for Kentucky.
No,
So, and he's not gonna go to Penn State's not gonna hire him. There's no way.
probably not.
Well, there's not no way, but yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well,
All right.
what a day.
Actually, the end of the video now.
Peace.